Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm starting a reading vlog. So I don't usually do reading vlogs because my life is very boring, and this is probably going to be boring too. So if this sees the light of day, then it must have been okay. Anyway, so I'm going to, I went to the library today. My hold came in, and it came in late on Sunday, so I didn't get it until Monday after work, which is today. And I picked up House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. It was the first book in the Crescent City series. So this is one of those books where I thought I would never read it because I did not like A Court of Thorns and Roses. I got partway through that and DNF'd that pretty quickly, actually. It just didn't do anything for me at the time. And again, it was one of those books that was super, super popular when I first joined BookTube. So again, it's been many years since I even attempted it. I don't actually remember what year I did attempt that. Anyway, so when this came out, I was not, I was intrigued because it's an adult and it's urban fantasy, which are, that's definitely a genre I read a lot of. But again, it was Sarah J. Maas, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to read that. My boss at the time, read this and really enjoyed it. And he is a huge reader. I just don't work with him anymore. He left. Went somewhere else. Anyway, point is that he had told me to read a few books. So I had read a couple of the books that he mentioned. One was a children's book that was kind of a ghost story one, which I can't think of the name of it right now. But that one went okay. And then he had me try House of Earth and Blood. And he also wanted me to read Gideon the Ninth. So, as you know, I finally picked up Gideon the Ninth a second time because I had read the first part of it when he told me about it, and I just didn't get into it then. So I felt really bad that I DNF'd to that one and took it back to the library. And then this last fall, I just picked it up on a whim. When I bought it, I just bought it on a whim because I'd been thinking about it going, I really didn't give that much of a chance. It was a library book. I just read a few pages and just didn't have time for it at the time. So I just let it go back because it was so popular that everybody was reading it. So I didn't want to keep the copy, and I wasn't interested at the time. And my boss and I didn't get along all that. Like, we got along okay, but we weren't close or anything. But we were the only readers, where I work, that I talked to a lot at the time. So anyway, but I've come back and I have read Gideon the Ninth, and I love the Locked Tomb series now. I'm looking forward to my reread of this later this year. I'm hoping we get a word that the fourth book is coming out either end of this year or early next year. I keep hoping. Whatever, I'm going to reread this series. I loved all three books that I read. They were all 5-star reads for me. So I decided that what I wanted to do is give him a second chance on another book. So this is kind of like a weird recommendations from a long time, from the last couple of years from my coworker. So it's kind of a weird twist here. So I've been thinking about this a lot, and I've seen a lot of vlog videos recently of people reading this. I know Jess Owens did a video on it. I have not watched it yet because I wanted to read it myself. And at the time, I was waiting for a paperback copy to come. I bought one off of eBay. Well, the book never showed up. And that was like 3 weeks ago. Kitty. That was Cooper, of course. So I decided that, I'll just get the book from the library. So I got the book from the library. It is as heavy and as big as I remember. It's like 800 pages. Urban fantasy, which is insane. Most urban fantasy should be under 500 pages. I don't think urban fantasy should be bigger than that. But, whatever. This is we'll see what happens. So anyway, so again, this is like kind of a second chance for his recommendations. Because I loved Gideon the Ninth, and I'm so kind of mad at myself that I didn't like it while I worked with him, so I could have told him that, because I just adored it in the rest of the series. So I'm going to give another book that he really, really raved about. And I know a lot of people, this is one of their favorite books, and I've always just been put off because I did not like A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I have decided to try this. So again, I really would rather have a paperback. This hardback is kind of worrying me, but we will see what happens. So I'm going to try to read some of this tonight, start it, and then we'll see how far we get. I'm hoping to be done. So this is Monday. Did I say that? I picked this up at the library on Monday. Anyway, so I'm hoping to be done by Friday or Saturday. That's 800 pages, but it's the only book I'm reading right now. I'm not listening to any audio. So I maybe can do that. We'll see what happens. It'll be close. I'm hoping to get it done because I'd like to get the... If I do the vlog and I actually post it, I want to post it on Saturday before my update on Sunday. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, so that's kind of it. That's a little story behind that. And so we're just going to get into this. This will probably be pretty long. And there might be spoilers in later at the beginning. Probably not, but I don't know. I'm not sure how far it matters how I react to it. If I'm reacting well, I might not do spoilers because I don't want to tell anybody what's happening because I don't want, I want them to read it kind of thing. So we'll see what happens. It just matters on if my mood changes or not changes. If I start getting into it. Now again, oh, I did want to say that. I'd only read I don't know how many chapters I read. I read a few, I know I read a little bit into it. I think I read 2 to 4 chapters. I can't remember. Again, it's been, I think I tried it in 2021. I think it was a year after it came out. It was when I tried it. When I don't know, because it came out in, I don't know what month. Anyway, it was later because I got it from the library pretty easily. I mean, I think I had to still wait a few weeks, but anyway, I am rambling now. So anyway, we're going to start this vlog tonight. I'm going to start this and see how it goes. I might regret not buying a copy and we'll see what happens. But, well, I tried to buy a copy. You know, I did try to buy a used copy, but it was really cheap and it said it was a very good copy and I didn't get it. Just kind of sucks. Anyway, so we're going to give this a shot. Okay, so first initial thoughts on this is I don't like the hardback. It's hard to hold for me. It's too big. I mean, it's like an 800-page book, I think. Yeah, it's just about 800 pages. So, yes, Cooper has to walk by. Yeah, sorry. So I don't like this. So now my conundrum kind of thing is that do I go buy a paperback copy tomorrow? So it's more, I mean, I tried, like I said, I didn't get the other copy, which I explained in the intro in this. But so I got it from my library. I mean, that saves me money, but it hurts to hold it. And I don't like, I don't have the experience of reading this isn't going well for that. The book itself, though, I'm actually interested. I'm not sure if it'll hold my attention so far. I've only read 2 chapters. I've read like 25 pages. I already like the characters, and I'm already worried about them because again, I've heard things about this story, about things that happen, and I'm afraid that the characters that I'm starting to like, something's going to happen to them already, or things that I remember hearing, so I'm kind of worried. Anyway, so I think that's a good sign. I find this very readable for an urban fantasy. I still think it feels a little young, just because I don't know how old the main character, Bryce, I don't know how old she is. I know that she must be out of high school, out of college, but I don't know how far out. I mean, it sounds like maybe a year out, but I'm not positive. So what does that make her? 23? I don't know. She seems a little young still. I'm not sure. And again, she's going to go through all this trauma, I'm sure, is this book, because it's a gigantic book. So we'll see what happens. As I said, I'm going to try to read a little bit more tonight. As I said, I've only read 2 chapters, but it's hard to hold this book. And I'm really going to have to make a decision if I want to just pay, I think it's like $10 for the ebook anywhere I buy it. Because the library copy is like weeks out. Like, I think it's like 3 months out at least. Maybe more than that now, or was last I looked. So the ebook, it would take a while to get, and I want to just do this now because I'm in the mood for it. So, so I have to decide if I'm going to buy the ebook or go get a physical copy if I can't keep reading this. We'll see. As I said, I want to get a little farther in before I make a decision. So maybe tomorrow I'll make a decision which way I'm going to go with this. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So anyway, that's my initial reaction so far is interesting. We'll see what happens. And I don't like it's too heavy, the hardback for an 800-page book. I know you're cute. Okay, so I got to the part that I was dreading, and it was worse than I thought. Not happy. Anyway, I mean, in a good way. I mean, I'm all in. I'm 70 pages in now. What chapter? I stopped. Not at a good point, but a place that I could stop. I have to go to bed. I'm already stayed up 25 minutes past my bedtime because I wanted to read the section. So I am just starting chapter 6. So, yeah. Wow. So it has done some things that I was worried about because of the age of the main character. You know, I mean, for that age, it's not unusual. Just, you know, young adults or young, what do you call it? Young 20s. Because she is 23. Did actually state that at one point. So, there's some stuff that, you know, I just don't need to go back there to that, but it's not as bad as when I read some YA and stuff, and it really is, like, I don't want to go back to high school stuff. This is different. This is more partying and stuff like that, and then, again, the things that happened after, and, you know, dating, and, like, it was really, like, the first 60-some pages was, you know, pretty light, pretty, like, you know, just getting us into her life and learning about Bryce and her friends and stuff. And then something bad happens, which, you know, is in the synopsis, which I knew was coming, but I wasn't sure who would be hurt. And I was devastated by who was and what happened. Oh, it hurt me. I almost cried. I didn't cry. It was close, though. Maybe because it's late at night. No, I think it really was. It was written well, but there was also an aspect to that I didn't like. But I know, like, I get why, you know, but I still issues. I don't want to spoil too much. I don't know how much I'm going to put in here. Maybe it's going to just be spoilery later. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But I just wanted to put out that, yeah, I like this book enough to continue. I'm, again, 70 pages in, and I'm probably going to have to go buy a paperback copy of this tomorrow because I cannot stand to hold this book. It is so heavy. So I have a lot of credit at Powell's, or the local one of the local used bookstores that I go to. I think I'm going to go there and buy it because I have so much credit. I mean, there's no, why, even though I could get it cheaper, maybe online, and maybe with my discount at Barnes & Noble, but you know, I have credit. Why don't I use the credit? So anyway, so anyway, this was, as I said, I nearly cried. I am definitely invested now to see what happens next and where it goes from here, because what a scene. I mean, it was really well done, even if it wasn't in a way I really liked. Because so far, you know, as I said, the couple of things, again, it's just getting used to that age. It's that age. Anyway, but, you know, I get it. But, you know, it was a long time ago for me. Anyway, and the other thing is that there's so much name dropping of different kinds of creatures in here and stuff. It's great because I'm really looking forward to learning about all of them. I know that's going to happen. It just seemed a lot at the beginning, which I didn't mention in my last clip, but it is something that I think is why I put it down the first time, is because I think too much is thrown at you in the first 24 pages, in the first 2 chapters. And I think after that, it kind of spaces it a little bit better. I just think the first couple chapters had just too much world building, just name dropping stuff, and wasn't enough to tell me really about the world, I guess, enough. But once I get more into it and you see more, I think it gets better. But we'll see. I'm really excited to see more about it. I can't believe I actually am liking this. So I'm kind of feeling bad about my coworker, or my boss, who told me to read this, and I gave up after 2 chapters because I think 2 chapters is all I read. That's all I recognized from what I read before. So anyway, sorry, that was a long update, but you know, anyway, I'm gonna make sure I take this to work tomorrow to read on my breaks, luncheon breaks, and then I think I'm gonna go probably buy a paperback copy if I'm still enjoying it after that point, because I don't want to hold this book anymore. It hurts so much, and I don't know. I just don't know why people like to read hardbacks. I don't like it. Anyway, that's it. That's it for now. I will check in tomorrow sometime and see where I'm at. Hey guys, so I'm in the car. I'm getting a coffee this afternoon. I don't need one, but I'm just feeling it. It's been a long day. Work was fine. It was just, you know, it was a Tuesday. Anyway, so I'm gonna get a coffee at Dutch Brothers, and which is my normal when I want a coffee. And then I'm gonna go to Pal's. So I am gonna buy a copy of House of Earth and Blood. It is going really well. I read, oh, I must have read like 40 pages on my breaks and stuff, which is pretty good. It reads really, really fast. So, I do still enjoy it. I think it's going to be a fast read. I'm just not sure about it still, like not in a bad way, like in a good way. Like I don't know what to expect. So we'll see. I'm still optimistic that I'm going to like this book. As I said, I've heard a lot of stuff about Crescent City, that the second book is the one a lot of people don't like. So we'll see when I get there. Anyway, but the point is I'm just over 100 pages so far. And I went back and tabbed my library book so that when I get a physical copy of my own, I won't put those over. So I like tabbing on one that I'm paying kind of close attention to. It's kind of a big book, so as I said, so that's kind of it. I just thought I'd check in. Yeah, I'm gonna get a coffee here, and then I'm gonna go to Pal's. The line is not moving though, so it might be a little bit, but at least I'm away from work. So it was just hailing, and now it's raining, and it's like 25 minutes since I made my last clip. This is Oregon weather for you. Very sunny, bright, then suddenly raining and hailing and cold. So I'm gonna now go to, you can't see it, but Pal's is over there. I'm at the Cedar Hills location, so I'm gonna go get my book. So it's hailing again. You can see I was out in the hail to get my book. That's kind of crazy. Why did I do that? Oh well, that's okay. I have it now. I'm going home now. Okay, I'm home. And I'm going to switch and read to this book. As I said, I made it a little bit in, and I've tabbed up this one, so I will untab those later. Not right now, but I'm just enjoying the tabbing thing. It's kind of like how I felt about Gideon the Ninth and stuff, which is funny because again, that was the one my coworker wanted me to read that I failed at too. So anyway, so I used my credits, so this didn't cost me anything. It was from books I took back, what, in December? I don't know, whenever my mom and I did that trip there to do that. So anyway, so that didn't cost me. I mean, it cost me, but not real money. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna chill out for a little bit. So I just got home. That hail, it was weird because I was hot when I got into my car and I had my sunglasses on. And it was nice and sunny. And then like 10 minutes later, the cloud came over and then it just poured for a little bit. And then it hailed on and off with rain. And then after I got the book and got into my car, it hailed, as I said, and halfway home. And then suddenly it just kind of petered out. And I got to my house and there's no water on the ground. I mean, there's old stuff, but not, like the driveway was dry. There was no rain. There was no hail, nothing. Anyway, so I will talk to you later when I've read some more and see how I'm going. Yes, Cooper, you're cute. Okay, so just a quick update. I'm about 210 pages in. I transferred all my tabs over when I need to break from my library books, so I can take that back probably at the weekend. Anyway, so I'm still enjoying this quite a bit. Again, things are heating up of the investigations of stuff that's going on. It definitely is like strictly urban fantasy to me. The characters, we do get the dual perspectives of the two main characters, which I wasn't sure about actually when I started. I thought it was going to be just her the whole time. So I'm really glad we got a couple other characters have had POVs, but mostly it's the two main ones. Well, and a couple side characters that are important as well. So I'm still enjoying it. I'm not going to say this is like the best thing ever or I'm super obsessed, but I'm definitely still interested and I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm just not sure if it can sustain it for that long. I mean, it's an 800-page book. And I'm 200 pages in, which is fine. Again, I should read more longer books, and I have in the past. And I don't mind picking up a big book when it reads really fast like this. Has been fun that way. Definitely great urban fantasy touches, a lot of different creatures and different political stuff that we're getting into. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in here. I'm actually very surprised. Glad about it because this wouldn't be going very well if I was bored, and I'm not. I mean, definitely not. So, anyway, so as I said, day 2 of reading it. 210 pages in. I wanted to read a little bit more than that, but you know, I have to work. Darn. And can't get that much done. So anyway, and as I said, it's the way it is. So anyway, we'll see how it goes in the next part, because I'm interested where I stopped for the night. I just have to stop because I have to go to bed because I have to go to work tomorrow. So I'm enjoying it. Okay, it is, what day is this? Wednesday night. So I've been home for hours, of course. It's like 8 o'clock, 8:20 at night. I didn't read as much today, and I'm getting tired, so I don't know how much more I'll read. So I don't know if I'll have another update today. I have made it to page 300. So this is still going really well. Today at work, I didn't have time to read much. I did read during lunch, but I didn't read as much on my breaks as I was hoping. You know, that just happens. And then when I got home tonight, after I had to run a couple errands for kitty food and stuff like that, I just haven't read as much as I wanted to, and now I'm getting tired. So, as I said, I'm still tabbing a little bit here and there. That's kind of slowed down because we're getting more into the main part of the plot and things are happening. So far I'm still really enjoying this. Definitely a lot of this is definitely doing the stuff urban fantasy does, where the main characters are, you know, trying to solve different cases, and different, you know, there's different things going on, but it's more than one, and they kind of, do they connect? Do they not connect? Are they separate issues? Does one deal with, or is because of the other one, or, you know, like, we don't know yet. I mean, again, I'm only 300 pages in of an 800-page book, so it is not slow. Like, things are happening all the time. I don't think we're getting, like, it's not, I don't feel like it's slowing down or anything. I really think it's going well, really. Actually, I don't think this is like gonna be, well, I mean, again, it matters. We're still pretty early in the, since it's 800 pages, I'm still pretty early. Not to decide a star rating. I don't think it's going to be a favorite, but I still think it's going to be a good time, because so far it has been. So I'm not against it at all. I'm just kind of still surprised at how much I've enjoyed this. There was a moment, just a little, well, now it's been about an hour and a half or so, but there was a moment something happened and I was so stunned that it happened. Just, you know, it shocked me. And then the aftermath of that. So there's definitely things that are moving the plot along. I'm just still kind of concerned because I got 500 pages left of this and I just don't know where it's going to go. So, I mean, I'm concerned in a good way. I don't know. We're just trying it out. So anyway, I'm enjoying it. More than I thought I would, as I said. So I'm still on I'm pleasantly surprised so far and enjoying the experience. So I will continue. I don't know how much more I'll get done tonight, but at least I've hit 300. I am behind. I really wanted to be close to the 400 mark tonight, but that's just not going to happen. I'll be lucky if I get another 20 pages done. But maybe tomorrow I'll get to read more, but tomorrow's my eye appointment. So they're going to retest my eyes or, you know, check my eyes to see if these glasses are right, which they can't be because things are still pretty fuzzy. Just looking around. I can read better now. I've gotten used to whatever they did with the readers. The readers are better, but I still have trouble at my desk reading my computers. And mostly the world around, like looking just over at my shelf with all my books, the words are fuzzy. Like, it's annoying. Anyway, so that's tomorrow. So we'll see how much I get done. Anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry. I don't want to do spoilers because I'm still really enjoying this. So we'll see what happens. This might, I don't know. This is a weird vlog for me. Anyway, well, we'll see what happens. I'm enjoying it. Hey guys, so it is Thursday and I am not feeling well. Last night my throat started to hurt and it hurts right now, so I've been kind of blah all day. But I went to work because that's what you do. Anyway, so I'm not feeling so great, but I just got out of my eye doctor appointment and yes, my lenses are incorrect. Hopefully the new ones will come in the next week and a half is what they tell me, and then I'll have to get them replaced again. So, yeah, so it's another week and a half of dealing with these, but that's fine. We'll just deal with it. Anyway, so I'm going to head home now. I did get halfway through House of Earth and Blood, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm definitely liking the mystery part of it and the growth of the characters, which I'll talk more about. I've kind of avoided talking about the main characters because, you know, the very beginning I had some issues. And they've most of them have resolved that I had issues with. And so, anyway, I'll talk more about that when I get home. But I just wanted to point out that, yes, the glasses were incorrect and I'm going to get new ones. Well, at least new lenses in these frames. Anyway. What are you doing, baby? Hey guys, so it is Friday night. I did not update on Thursday after my last clip because I was feeling really bad and I actually went to bed pretty early last night. And today I feel a lot better. The throat still is kind of but at least I didn't feel as gross as I did yesterday. But anyway, so thought I would update you because I haven't really, you know, I rewatched some of my clips and I'm trying not to be spoilery. I don't want to be spoilery about this, but I'm not going to be either. But I just read a part that I nearly didn't have the book at. I was so mad. Now, I'm going to do a caveat here. So again, this is, as I said in here, it's been a great ride so far. I'm liking all the mysteries that we've built up to and things that are happening. I really like the character Bryce. I liked following her and following Hunt and getting both of their POVs. I really enjoy all the creatures that are in this world because this is very much an urban fantasy story, but, you know, there's a lot of fantasy elements to it as well, but it's very much, you know, in a city and it reads like a urban fantasy. It's just really long for an urban fantasy. Yes, that's Cooper. Anyway, but it's doing a lot of things that I love in urban fantasies with the mystery part of it. That's one of the key aspects of an urban fantasy that I enjoy is all the fantasy elements. Then with, it kind of feels like real life, but twisted, and then also has all the mysteries that they're trying to solve. So this is an excellent plotted book. There are so many things in here, that were mentioned early that come back later, and I'm glad because I caught, you know, I again, I tabbed a lot of things that I thought would be important, and some of them have come back, and some of them have not. Some of them I don't know yet if that'll be important or not. Some of them have worked out really well. And then I get to about 75% of the way through this book, and I nearly threw the book across the room. So I've calmed down now. I wish I probably should have filmed right after it happened, but I was so mad. So through this book, you're following these characters. Again, something really bad happens early in the book to Bryce. And then it's 2 years later and they are investigating. She is made to investigate because they find that who they thought had done it probably hadn't, or they want to prove that he did it, and or people that he knows did it. So they are put on she's put with Hunt, who is a fallen angel kind of thing. He had rebelled against the government at one point. 200 years before that. So he has his own tragic backstory. And then she's had all the stuff that she's gone through from the beginning of the book of what happened. And again, I think a lot of their trauma and things that happened in their past do reflect on what they do through this book and how their relationship goes from one thing to another. And it's a really great progression. And I think you really grow to love the characters, even when they are not people I would maybe want to hang out with all the time, but you know, because of certain things and aspects. So I think overall this has done such good work. And again, I still think it's too long. But I also, it's not done. So I still have quite a bit to go. But at 75% of the book, I don't know if that's considered the, you know, in writer's terms, the dark night of the soul of this book, or that's just another divot in things that happen. But oh my gosh, I nearly threw this book across the room. I was so mad. And again, not to be, I don't want to be too spoilery, but one of the characters does something, and but because we were in their head at one point, or through a lot of it, you know, but we don't get any hints that that's coming. And I hate that. I hate, when it's because we're in their head, but we're not really in their head if we're not going to get everything. And it just, I think it failed. If they'd done it in a way where we knew, I mean, it wouldn't have been as shocking. I'll give it that. But I didn't like to be shocked because I was mad because we had been in that character's head. Anyway, so again, we do get the perspectives of two of the main characters, and then there's a couple side characters that are pretty important, which I really enjoy, her brother's perspective, which has been nice. Wow. So, okay. So yeah, about 75% I nearly threw the book across the room. So now, again, we're in the aftermath of that. I've only read another, let's see, another 40 pages. Yeah, about 40 pages. So, you know, I'm closing in, but you can see how that pink mark is. That's where I nearly threw the book across the room. Not happy. I'm still not happy with how that happened. But I have continued to read. It's compulsive to read this. I think some people will really say that. So, again, I don't want to be spoilery. I think I've just decided I've been so vague through this whole thing. We're just going to keep going with it. So this is pretty much just an impressions video of my reading vlog. I don't know how to do a spoilery vlog because I don't like to spoil anything. I never do. I very rarely spoil anything, or try not to spoil anything. Anyway, so I have still 160 pages left to go in this book. I might read a little bit more tonight because it's already about 9 o'clock and I'm getting tired of holding the book and reading. I'm still mad at it. Again, the plot still, things are still moving and the characters are still doing stuff, but I'm still so mad. It was like a betrayal to me. I mean, it was a betrayal in one part, but it was also just, to me, the reader, it really upset me. And this always happens in certain perspective things when they're trying to, you know, how do I want to say it? They're trying to, the author is hiding something from you. So that, again, there's the shock value of when it comes out, something comes out. But it was the way it was done upset me, I guess. I was upset for the other character who was affected by it the most. it just devastated me for that person. And it's just, so it's kind of this book is getting to me. Let me just put it that way. So again, like, if I had to rate the book right then, it would have been, a star would have dropped, like, right off. Like, there'd be no chance that this is even a 4-star, because I was just like, no, this is bad. But we'll see if it can come back from that. There's still 160 pages of this to go. So maybe it'll turn around for me. But I gotta say, I was not impressed with what happened there. And I mean, I don't think we're supposed to be, like, I mean, we're supposed to be shocked that it happened. And and then we're able to look back and go, okay, well, that was kind of, you know, but I don't think the clues that there's, some of them were in there, yes, but, and I think this is plotted so well. I mean, I don't want to detract from that. This is a well plotted novel, and that was well plotted out. But I still think it was a cheat in some way. And I don't like it. But I've always had trouble with certain narrative styles when they try to hide things from me when we have their POV. I guess I just have problems with that. With the POV lying to me when they should know that I'm listening, you know, like I'm there, like I'm the, you know, the reader. Anyway, I'm not explaining that right. I have to figure out how to say that better. But anyway, so anyway, this was going really, really well. I was really enjoying it. And then 75% happened. And yeah, page 6, you know, around 600, and not happy. Anyway, so this is it. I'm working, I'm still chipping away. I'm hoping, because this is Friday night, I'm hoping I can get this done tomorrow. I don't know if I'll get the video up tomorrow, but we'll see. It matters if I get it done early. If not, I'll put it up sometime next week, but oh well, you know, I can't, I got sick. I just didn't feel that well. And again, today I feel a lot better, but still don't feel 100%. So anyway, we will continue. See, look at all the tabs. See, you know, so that's the one where I would have DNF'd it. Or I came close to throwing the book across the room. Anyway, so that's it. Oh, that was a long update. Sorry, but anyway, this is going to be a long video anyway. So anyway, and if you've read it, you have to let me know. Did you almost throw the book across the room with that? I want to know. What are you guys doing? They were doing the typical thing where Cooper was licking Truman and then he was biting him, but they stopped when I pulled out the camera or the phone. Interesting. But they're still cute. Yes. Truman does this every night a couple times. He'll sit there and stare at me. And I have to invite him to come up. Come on. See? He's a polite kitty sometimes. Okay, guys. So, it is now Saturday morning. I've just got back from grocery shopping, so I'm already tired. I had a really kind of bad, it wasn't the whole night. It was just the last couple hours that kind of had a relapse of my sore throat and not feeling very good and stuff. So, I'm getting kind of, I mean, I'm not a late start, but I did do the grocery shopping so I wouldn't have to do it tomorrow. I just wanted to get it done. So I did that. I went and got a coffee because again, I need my Dutch brothers to live. Anyway, so, I am still 160 pages from the end. Last night, I'm still mad about what happened in this. And I do want to still try to finish this today. We will see how it goes. I might have to bribe myself. So last night, right before bed, I picked up the other book. I was in the middle of that. I put aside when I got that, got the book from the library, which was these novellas, Bitten by Cupid. So I read the Lindsay Sands one on Sunday because that's what I bought this for. It's one of the Argonaut vampire books. I think it's 12.5. So I wanted to make sure I read that before I continued on in the series. So I definitely need to read that. And then last night I read a lot of the Pamela Palmer novella called Heart Untamed. The Lindsay Sands one was called Vampire Valentine. So it's around Valentine's Day on all these. Anyway, but the Hearts Untamed by Pamela Palmer is not going well. I'm almost done with it. I'm like 30 pages from the end, so I'm going to finish it out. It was, first off, it was a second chance romance but it was a second chance romance where they never got together the first time around. He kind of ran from her, but this has to do with kind of different beings. I don't know what kind of series maybe she has a series of these books, but it says newcomers. So these might be like debut authors who were in here. I'm not sure. I'm not enjoying it. Let's put it that way. There's so many things I would change or I question about the story. So anyway, I'm not doing a review. Sorry about that. But I'm going to probably intermix with this in order to get this done. Because right now, where I stopped last night, something was just about to happen. And I was rolling my eyes and I'm like, okay, it's time to put the book down. Again, that was after I talked to you guys on here. So anyway, so I'm going to finish out the 30 pages on this. And then we'll see if I can get myself to pick this up. We'll see. Because right now I'm so disappointed in how things went. And I'm not sure how it's going to go. And I'm still 160 pages from the end. And it worries me that I'm having trouble now near the end of the book. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, so I just want to give a brief little update. I'm never brief. What am I talking about? Anyway, we'll see if we can get these things done today. Okay, so really quick, I only read a little bit more from, I did finish the novella, the second novella, so I still have one left of that. But okay, so I picked this up. It's now at 10:30, and the scene was as bad as I thought it was going to be where I stopped. And just roll my eyes. It's strike number 2, man. This book was pretty good up until this point. So, what happened right after that, like the scene that I'm rolling my eyes at, I'm just over the top. Anyway, but right after it, something exciting is going to happen. So that again will pick up and hopefully be good. I am just not, this book is just failing after that one point. And I don't know how other people feel about it. Definitely I'm going to have to go and watch other people's reading vlogs and see reviews and stuff. I'm really curious to see how they all talk themselves around this part of the book that I'm just finding so it's tossing me out of the story more than anything else in this book has done. It's just, again, eye rolling. I'm eye rolling, and that's never a good sign. I think it's because I feel like the logic has gone away in certain things. Anyway, so we will see. In case you're wondering, that was chapter 71. Yeah. Anyway, so chapter 72 sounds really exciting, so we will continue on. Again, I still want to finish this today if I can. I do not want to DNF it this far into the book. But if there's a strike 3 that is I don't know. We'll see. Okay, guys, so it's noon. And I did hit, I don't know if I said I was going to try to hit 700 before noon. So I'm just past that. Big things happened, all good stuff in this book that kind of made me feel a little better about the part I didn't like. So definitely, I'm curious though, why I still have 100 pages left of this book, except that things are happening still. So, but it was a really good scene. I would have said that was the climax of the book. So I'm a little concerned what happens next for 100 pages. Well, a little under 100 pages. I'm a little over 700. Okay, so I have about 90 pages left. Anyway, point is that, this book is definitely well plotted and very much, as I said, it's doing all the right things except for those 2 things I had trouble with. here not too long before this. So I'm really, I'm really enjoying this again, which is good, because I was like, well, am I really going to want to finish this book because I'm having travel? But what just happened was definitely worth the journey of this book, even if I still don't like those two things that happened. One for sure, and then the second one definitely not. Anyway, so the point is, anyway, so I'm continuing. I'm going to have lunch now. I'm gonna go make I have a pizza from the grocery store, like a pizza bread, like French bread with pizza stuff on it. Anyway, so I want to make that, and then I'm gonna finish this book here pretty soon. And if I get it done early enough, I will upload this video, because this is a long ass video and weird. Anyway, so again, I'm enjoying the book again. Which I'm really glad about, because I was kind of, am I going to DNF this book at, you know, with 150 pages left in this? I was kind of concerned there. So, anyway, so as I said, I have 90 pages left, and we will see what happens. Okay, so it is 2:35 and I finished the book. So I did make it kind of early of what I was hoping to do. So I really enjoyed the end. I would say the last 30 pages were great, like just phenomenal. I think it was great because I wasn't sure how that was all going to work with what happened right at the beginning of that and then through the end. Like, that was all a surprise how it went, and because I was like, how is it going to be another 100 pages? And it made sense. So I think overall this was a good read. I think it ends in a place that, you know, I don't really have to read the second book. I'm kind of afraid of the second book right now because I still know a lot of people didn't like it, because I think this was really well done, and as I said, very well plotted, very much has a lot of things that I like in urban fantasies and stuff. And again, I keep saying it, I know some people call it a high fantasy. I don't see it that way, because it's really an urban fantasy just on a different world. It's just, that's what it looks like to me. Anyway, here at the end. Anyway, I tell you that. Anyway, so overall, I really love the end. I like the way it ended. I liked what we did find out. I know there's a few things that I was wondering from the very beginning how that was going to play into it, and then it did. And I'm really glad that came around, because I am one of those people who look for red herrings and looks for things that are kind of loose-ended, and I like that most of the stuff got answered. There's still a few questions and things because, again, it's a trilogy, so I think it's a trilogy. I hope there's only 3 books. Anyway, so I really enjoyed this overall. Again, I do have 2 points where I could have DNF'd it so easily at the first one. The second one was just more of a eye-rolling kind of lower point. But other than that, overall, I think it was a solid read. I can't give it above a 4 because of those 2 points. Just, one nearly broke me, because I was like, just, my trust was gone. And then the second one was just, I said, eye-rolling. So it was kind of little, but again, I can see both of them from a plotting standpoint that it works. I didn't enjoy those, and it ruined part of the story for me in both of those instances, because it didn't, to me, make logical sense how it was put in there. But again, I can see it. I understand why they're there, and I understand why other people might not have issues with them. They're just my personal writing issues, or things I don't like in novels, certain things. So I think this was really well. I think overall, I'm glad I read it. I'm glad I took the chance and tried it again. Too bad I can't tell my ex-coworker that I liked both of the books that he tried to make me read years ago. Oh well. Or it's just, these things happen. But I am glad I did decide. I don't know if I'm going to pick up the next book. What do you guys think? Have you guys read that Cooper's coming? Because I'm talking. Anyway. So I don't know. Should I pick up the second book? I mean, I can't get the paperback. I don't think a paperback here in the US comes out until like September. So I could pick it up in September And then the third book, I think, comes out in January or February. I don't remember. It was early part of next year, I believe. We'll have to see. So I'm not sure. Right now, I think it ended in a place where I don't have to pick up the next book. But I am kind of curious to see what happens in the next one. Even though a lot of people don't like it. I mean, I don't think everybody disliked it. I just meant a couple of people that I watch were disappointed in it compared to this one. So I don't know. You have to tell me what you think. Anyway, so that's the end of my vlog. It's long. I know I talk a lot and stuff, and it's a long book, so it is my final tabs though. Look how pretty they are. Anyway, I'll probably take them out at some point because I don't need that there. It's more just for as I was going through things I thought I would need to know later. You know, it's just fun tabbing. They're not necessary, but they were fun. It was fun. Anyway, I think that's it. So if you guys have read this book and have continued on, again, let me know if you think I should. I mean, I don't think I want to do it right away. Not just because it's another 800-page book, but I think I just need a break from it. So I might wait so let me know if you think I should wait till September when I think it's September when their paperback comes out. And if, you know, that I should do another reading vlog on that one. I don't know. Again, I'm not spoilery. I didn't spoil. I don't want to. This might have been a waste. Anyway, you guys will have to let me know if you like these kind of vlogs. Again, I have a very boring life. It's just me and the cats. And I can't film at work. And I don't have a thing to film in my car. I have to hold it when I do it. So I can't do it when I'm driving. You know, like it's just, this is it. Anyway, so that was a reading vlog. I hadn't done one in a long time. And I think I'm just going to post this. So anyway, I will, you guys let me know. Have you guys liked House of Earth and Blood? And if I should continue, let me know and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.